with all that being said, you're getting a good product that does exactly what it advertises, but you're also supporting a company that is Hemi through and through. To have a company that has knowledgeable, helpful people making good products, I think it's worth supporting a company like them. And would I have paid full price for this product? Absolutely. How's it going, guys? My name's Donovan. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Modern Muscle Extreme Whipple 3-liter boost controller, which you can see right here. If you're unfamiliar with what this product is, the non-Hellcat cars, when you buy a Whipple for them, it comes with a vacuum boost controller. The vacuum boost controller isn't really optimal because you get some surging and you kind of get this all or nothing behavior where the Supercharger, 1 second you won't be making any boost, and then a couple seconds later you'll be making full boost and you'll blow the tires off. Then comes the Modern Muscle Extreme boost controller. So rather than using a vacuum line to determine when to open and close the supercharger bypass valve, it instead uses throttle position. As a result of that, you get less surging, almost no surging, a more predictable driving experience, and it also makes the car drive more Hellcat-like if you've ever had the opportunity to drive one of those factory supercharged cars. I've had this MMX kit on the car for about 6 months now. I do have to say that while MMX did not send me this kit for free, they did work with me on the price, so it's kind of a partial sponsorship. With that being said, you guys are going to get a fair and honest long-term review on this product. One of the cool things about this product is you can select how much boost you want it to make, and you can select how aggressively that boost ramps up based on throttle position. You can see there are a bunch of different modes you can select. The two I've used most are street mode and race mode, and the difference between them is just how fast the supercharger closes the bypass valve relative to your throttle position. Adaptive is kind of a hybrid between street and race mode that learns the way you drive and adjusts that boost ramp curve accordingly. Valet mode limits the amount of boost that the car makes, and by extension limits the amount of horsepower that the car makes, just in case you valet your car or your grandma needs to drive it or something and you want to make sure she doesn't drive it through your garage door. Something I also like is it also has multiple modes where you can select essentially a percentage of boost that you'd like, ranging from no boost to full boost. One thing that's nice about those modes is if you're doing some sort of bracket racing, or if you're driving in the rain and you want to dial back how much power the car is making, you can do it just by simply changing the position of the boost knob. Really helpful for things like bracket racing if you're just a little too fast and you need to dial back the horsepower so that you stay within your bracket. One thing I also really appreciate this kit, it is almost entirely plug and play. And if you come over here, I'll show you what I mean by almost. So it comes with a wiring harness. That wiring harness plugs into the controller. You snake it back through the firewall rubber grommet on the driver's side. From there, it comes with all the connections you need to plug it into the throttle position sensor and then to the actual controller knob. There is one wire I had to splice, and you can see it right here going into the fuse box. MMX did include a fuse tap to connect that power wire. The only reason I didn't use that is because I wanted to connect it to the same line that I use for, and you're not able to see it because it's behind the bumper, but basically the Whipple coolant pump. It's connected to an accessory fuse that it only turns on when the car is on, so that way it's not just parasitic draw on the battery. Otherwise, the kit was pretty much entirely plug and play. Now that we've spoken about the feature set and all the things I like about this product, I do want to talk about areas of improvement. I'm hesitant to call them cons because some of them were user error, installation issues on my part. other things are features that I'd like to see this kit have, and I've been told that MMX might be working on them for future iterations. Keep that in mind as I list these 5 items. Number 1 was the length of the wiring kit that they send with the controller. So if you follow me, MMX advertises on their website a mount for the glove box, which is on the far passenger side. Unfortunately, I was unable to snake the wire all the way over there, and so I actually have the controller right here behind my gear selector. It would be really nice if the wiring harness was just a touch longer. It could be I just chose the wrong way to route it, but no matter what I did, I just couldn't figure out how to get it all the way to the glove box. So if the wiring harness was a touch longer, that would be really helpful. The second thing is a vacuum line. Obviously, the original vacuum controller that came with the Whipple Supercharger kit needed a vacuum port to sense the vacuum and thus control boost. The MMX controller is all digital and doesn't use that port. I had to go to O'Reilly's and buy a small rubber cap to just cap that off, because if you leave it uncapped, you'll get a vacuum leak. I do not recall that being included with the kit from MMX. Of course, it is literally just a little 5-cent thing, but it would be really nice, and it would have saved me a trip to O'Reilly's had that come with the kit. So next was a hurdle that I had with the installation. It was a pretty simple fix, but I still do want to bring it up. The actual actuator itself connects to a shaft that controls the bypass valve position. On my unit, it is possible to install that shaft in multiple ways onto the actual actuator arm here. The thing is everything bolted on correctly, so when I first installed it, I didn't know that there was something wrong. It was only after I went and data logged the car and noticed that it wasn't making boost that I had the clocking of the bypass valve shaft and the actuator arm incorrect. After a quick call with MMX, by the way, shout out to those guys. When I emailed them, told them my issue, they called me the next day and knew exactly what the problem was and helped me solve it. So shout out to you guys. I basically had to uninstall the actuator, just clock the bypass valve shaft, put everything back together. Took like 5 minutes and everything worked properly. I've been told that on newer versions of this product, the arm of the actuator itself has been redesigned so that bypass valve shaft can only be inserted one direction, and so you won't have that problem. So I will take responsibility for that issue, but just something to keep in mind. I do have another desired feature. This is kind of a niche request, but for the more advanced users and tuners, it would be really nice if we would be able to upload our own boost curves to the controller. I did ask MMX about that, and without saying too much, I will say that that is something they are aware of already and something they are exploring. So the fifth and last thing I want to mention here is the price. This product is not cheap. It is $770 last I checked, plus another 30 bucks if you want the glove box mounting kit. Certainly not a cheap product. The question is though, is it worth it? I do think it's worth it. It substantially improved the drivability of this car with the Whipple on it. Additionally, having that extra control with all the different boost modes and boost curves is really nice, and I would really like to experiment with them on the dyno just to see what the effect looks like in practice, and maybe even at the track. With that being said, it's a premium product, so a premium product is going to command a premium price. I have to give the MMX guys credit. They are extremely helpful, and they make a lot of products for these Hemi cars, for the 5.7s, the Hellcat platform, even I've seen Pentastar parts on their website. They're very smart guys, and they stand behind their products. So with all that being said, you're getting a good product that does exactly what it advertises, but you're also supporting a company that is Hemi through and through. And you guys know the aftermarket for these Hemis is not huge. So to have a company that has knowledgeable, helpful people making good products, the price is justified. I really think it is. I think it's worth supporting a company like them. And would I have paid full price for this product? Absolutely. I don't think that the price is unreasonable for what you get. So that's what I got for you guys. MMX boost controller, is it worth it? I would say it is. With that being said, I want to extend a thank you to MMX for working with me and partnering with me so that I could review this product. I hope you guys found this video useful or helpful in some way. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out. Today's video is a 6-month review on the MMX Whipple boost controller. I've already filmed the review at this point. However, upon editing and watching the review, I realized that I throw around the term boost controller, actuator, bypass valve, a whole lot, and I never really explain how all of these components work together. So it sounds counterintuitive, but a boost controller does not increase the amount of boost that your car makes or increase the amount of horsepower that your car makes either. What a boost controller actually does, it prevents the car or the supercharger from making boost when you don't want it to. So the positive displacement superchargers like the IHI on the Hellcat and the 3-liter Whipple that I have on my Charger RT have what's called a bypass valve. Theoretically, the way the bypass valve works is it remains open when you're cruising around town and you're at partial throttle. And when the bypass valve is open, it prevents compressed air from going into the intake ports and the cylinders in the engine. That way, when you're driving around town, you're not always what we call in boost and sending a bunch of unnecessary air into the engine when you don't necessarily need the extra power. And how these boost controllers work, whether it's the vacuum controller that came with my 3-liter Whipple or the MMX controller, is they essentially control how that bypass valve opens and closes. When the bypass valve closes, when you're at partial or wide open throttle, then you're getting full boost and full horsepower. Ultimately, as I said, the boost controller does not increase the amount of boost that your positive displacement supercharger makes. The purpose of the bypass valve is to regulate how the supercharger behaves during the transition between cruise and partial or wide open throttle.